Welcome back to Edge Work, presented by FanDuel as part of the Hammer Betting Network. I am Alex Moretto in one of my worst forms here. Still battling this cold. My back is now torched because I've been doing nothing but laying in bed and on the couch. So I'm just like right up against my my seat here. Matt Alber is going to have to carry the show today, and that is who I am joined with. No so money today as he is at the rink with his kids this morning. Albert, we will start quickly before we recap yesterday, get into today's games, all that sort of stuff. I do want to talk Rangers, and we'll do a little Rangers talk radio for you here because there was a big win last night, but at what expense? Take us through it.
Pretty much the epitome of a feel bad win last night, I guess, which kind of sucks because Igor was pretty good. I mean, Sorokin was terrible, but like fourth line looked great. Bunch of Hartford guys. It was pretty thorough start to finish, but you lose Keandre Miller for who knows, and you lose, more importantly, Adam Fox for who knows. And Fox does not look good. All the Twitter doctors saying like broken collarbone kind of thing. It looked pretty bad when it first happened. Kind of goes without saying, but like the Rangers are definitely not deep back on the back end. Saying that they're bad with Fox and Miller, without Fox and Miller, turns into like a bottom five probably defensive core in the league if those two are out. So definitely kind of need to see what happens there. But like if you get the news, and we're all kind of sitting on it right now, like if you get the news that Fox is done for the season, which is certainly possible at this point, like it wouldn't surprise me if they would just kind of shut him down. Like his knee's clearly not healthy anyway. I mean, you're seeing like minus 125s ish to miss the playoffs. Like you got to bet that
right now.
Yeah, I mean, like, and especially if they do lose, even if they lose like Miller for 2 weeks or something, right? Like, and I have no idea what it is with him, but say you lose both of them, and now your top four defensemen are Ryan Lindgren, Will Borgen, Braden Schneider, and Vakanainen are your top four. Yeah, that's not really like NHL caliber.
I think you also have no way that you can trade Lindgren at that point either.
See, I almost think the opposite way. I think because they're not going to re-sign him, and everyone kind of knows that. I think the front office knows that they're not re-signing him too. That's why they only wanted to do a year last year. I think if you do lose these guys, then they know that they're done. And I think then they definitely look to trade Lindgren and just say, you know what, we're just going to LTIR everyone who's hurt. We're going to bring a couple of young kids. Like they do have some depth in Hartford that they can at least bring up who can be okay. Like we've seen Connor Mackey and those kind of guys and Zach Jones play. So it's like they can at least fill out a roster, but it's a defensive core that's been very, very bad this year with Fox and Miller, who are probably been their best two defensemen this year. You lose those two and it's like season's done. Pack it in, go home, try again in October. So we'll have to see.
That would be a brutal loss. The timing of it too. Have you been following all this? Like Johnny Lazarus talking about what was it? That Fox guys love to play against Fox or something like that. And he's kind of getting dragged through the mud for it. There's like a fun dialogue on both sides.
Yeah, may have chatted, may have talked with him a little bit about that. Yeah, look, to kind of keep that short, I am not the biggest Adam Fox fan on planet Earth. I certainly think he has his deficiencies, whether it's skating or physicality or kind of when intensity's picked up. He's still a really good defenseman. Like there are 31 other teams in the NHL that get immediately better if they add Adam Fox. Like I do think the hate's probably gone a little too far on him. But like we talk about it with the Stars, for example, losing Heiskanen and the Bruins losing McAvoy. It just some teams just aren't built to handle these losses. Unlike a team like Vegas who can lose Theodore, and it's like they're still running out 6 pretty good defensemen. It's like the Rangers don't have that, and that's part of the issue with kind of how they were built. And obviously, you kind of had a lot of guys take steps back this year. Fox is still really good, and if they're going to lose him, obviously hurts the power play too. I mean, he's been back into that power play for the last 3-4 years now. I don't know. It's kind of wait and see.
Not to the same extent this year, but they have relied heavily on special teams too.
Yeah. I mean, they're always going to be relying on that power play, just kind of how they are, just being so top heavy, especially at this point up front, that it's like, they are super reliant on that power play. And when it's not there, or you take a piece away from it, like Kreider takes a step back. He was obviously a massive piece of that power play. He's clearly not healthy either. Like, it's kind of when you look at like what they're going to do from here. Like, Fox needs some time off. His knee's clearly not right. Now his shoulder, collarbone, whatever's done. Kreider's back's definitely not healed. Like, it's one of those. I think they are kind of almost better off in the long term if they maybe just kind of pull the plug here, especially if this is one of those things that's like 4 to 6 weeks for Fox. Well, 4 to 6 weeks for Fox, you're probably not making the playoffs, or like maybe you're scrapping and clawing every day with these guys at 60, 70% the rest of the way just to try to get in, just to be like a sacrificial lamb to Washington.
Mhm.
It's like it's not worth it. So I would not be surprised if the plug gets pulled at some point here. But yeah, got to see what happens with Fox.
Yeah, obviously, like every point becomes so massive too here with like Columbus and Detroit still winning every single game, it seems like. Yeah, Hal, congrats to your Wings last night. It was nice to get that one home. And yes, Buffalo did have a nice third period comeback there. I was very glad that I abstained from joining you guys on the Ducks when I saw that happen. That was not great.
Yeah, it was funny though. So it was kind of looking through results late last night. Didn't watch a second of that game. Blake was kind of looking through the results and said, yeah, like the show had a pretty good day. And then I was like, oh yeah, we bet the Penguins. Oh yeah, we bet the under in Seattle. I was getting ready to come on here and be like, oh, like I helped us get whatever it was, 5-1, something like that without it. And then I was like, fucking Moretto. It's always sewer in the show.
Yeah, we did go 5-3 last night. Collectively, I did have 2 of those losses with the Pens and the Kraken. I also had the Lightning, the Jackets, and the Wings, though. So ultimately, still a good night. But overall, for the show, a winning night, which is nice to see. I think we needed that one, and building off what we did on Monday too with that Kings win. So a decent start, a decent return from the Four Nations break for us. Maybe we are like some of those NHL teams that also needed this Four Nations break. I don't know.
How about that Penguins team yesterday? How about that move on the Penguins yesterday?
Yeah, the Penguins just kept getting bet and bet and bet. Honestly, they didn't even like their goal. I don't know if you saw the first goal. Like Ristolainen's goal was like
I didn't see
one of the worst. It was atrocious. It was like a weak slap shot from a bad angle that like somehow went through the legs. It was a miserable goal to allow, and they just could not buy a save. That team, even when they show life, they're not good. Pretty pathetic.
Yeah, my entire experience of that Penguins Flyers game was texting one of my good friends who's Flyers season ticket holder and saying, what the hell's going on there? When it was like, I think it was 5-1. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And she just goes, yeah, usually this is them doing this to us. So I don't really know what's going on here. But yeah, I joined on the Flyers late. I think so many probably did too, the way that he was talking about being close to Philly. Like they got down, I think, as low as -115, if not even a little bit lower. Which was crazy, but I certainly wasn't expecting to move that far.
Did you casually flex that you're rizzing a girl? I missed that.
No, definitely not. I think she would say no faster than I would.
Okay, fair enough. All right, we will get into tonight's games. There are a few to get into here. Three good games tonight too. This is like for a quiet Wednesday slate. 3 games that all have like very high watchability. So we will get into that. Before we do, bear with me here because I am dying. But Puckheads, the NHL playoffs are right around the corner, and FanDuel is bringing you the best bets on the ice. Get in the lab when you make your same-game parlay by checking out FanDuel's player performance pages that track stats and averages all of your favorite players. Once you know who's cooking, add shots on goal, points, assists, or even goalie saves to your SGP. Miss puck drop, you can still tap in with live same-game parlay and period-specific player props. Right now, new customers can kick off the season with $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Just place any $5 bet, and you'll get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download FanDuel Sportsbook and make every moment more. Please play responsibly. Must be 21 plus and present in select states, or 18 plus and present in DC, or 19 plus and physically located in Ontario. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-866-531-2600 or visit connexontario.ca. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. We did it.
You survived.
All right. I am a puckhead, Jordan. I'm curious what Jordan's thoughts were on Seth Jones' comments last night as well. That was one guy who seems pretty absolutely done with his situation and the team. Yeah. Charles, why would you bet Rangers playoffs no -140 when you can get -125 at our wonderful show sponsor, FanDuel? That's the question I have there.
And if that was missed, the Rangers no playoff bet is very much getting determined on what happens with Adam Fox here.
Yeah, you can't.
He's out basically over a month. Yeah, if he's out like over a month, and if they lose Miller, like it's too much to handle. But you got to wait to see what happens with those guys. Like you never know with these injuries, really. Like there's every chance it's kind of a day-to-day thing.
Yeah. Also from Charles here, that I don't know if you watch any games, but the Sabres broadcast is unreal. I love the Sabres broadcast. And it's not Rick Jenneret anymore, but like, man, I always love when the Habs play those games in Buffalo.
I do like listening to those guys. No, I saw none of that last night. I watched the Rangers, and then too bad. I really wish we had former producer Zach on the show to talk about Mitch Marner here. Because he had probably the nicest almost. I don't know if you saw the overtime thing that he didn't score.
Yeah,
the one that he didn't score, that would have been like the greatest goal of the last 5 years or something.
I was watching that. Yeah,
that would have been incredible. And then for him to get the overtime winner, like he's getting 8-20 in Toronto, and I know you're gonna love that, and it's gonna be hysterical.
I don't know what I'm gonna love. Like I would. Anyways, we're not going to talk about Mitch Marner for the next 20 minutes, but like I think watching him walk for free, I think it all depends on like them making like the third round and then Marner leaving for nothing, and then watching them realize like, oh my God, this guy meant actually maybe a lot for us in terms of regular season or whatever. Like I think watching him walk for free would also be kind of fun. I think honestly, no matter how this plays out, I think I'm going to be content. Barring like Leafs success this season, at which point just absolutely kill me. I might just stop watching hockey again if the Leafs like even reach the cup, never mind win it. All right, let's get into tonight's games though here before I start dying at that thought. We will start with the Jets taking on the Sens in Ottawa. Sens +114, Jets -137 on FanDuel, total of 5.5 +100 to the over, -122 to the under. And that is devastating to see because I did bet the under in this game, and I was going to give out the under in this game, and I did not realize it had already been bet out since we started the show. It's terrible.
Yeah, all right, it got nuked. It got nuked right as we hopped on. I had the same thought. It's at this point I'm not betting it. Like you could have had -110-ish earlier.
I bet it at plus money like just before the show, like not just before the show, but like a little bit before.
There were a lot of prices that are no longer there. So hard to say much about that at this point. And do we even entirely know who's playing for Ottawa here? Like I think Pinto, Norris, Tkachuk are all
Norris is playing. Norris is playing. Norris is playing. I would not expect Tkachuk or Pinto though.
Yeah, so it's like
right now, barring any like new news, but that's kind of where I'm at with what's going on right now.
Yeah, if they were all in, I'd certainly like Ottawa here. Without them, not really interested in the side. Total's kind of gone. This still does feel a little coin flippy. I'd probably still lean to Ottawa, but it's like I know I underrate the Jets a little bit, so I'm not dying to get in front of them here. I wish we had Somebody's take because we need his take on kind of his Senators here, but yeah, I have nothing else here at this point.
Yeah, Sens obviously like kind of limped into the break. And now like they're still limping out of it with the no Tkachuk, no Pinto. Obviously, Norris should be back is what based on what it sounds like. But they've lost 4 in a row. They were pretty miserable on Saturday against the Habs. And like considering the rate at which the Jackets and Wings are winning, you kind of need to see some urgency from Ottawa right now. But this is about as tough as it gets going up against this Jets team. I could not look Ottawa's way without Tkachuk or Pinto. There's just no way. What I liked was the under at 5.5, up to like -110 even. But like honestly, there is still a -105 out there. We won't track it for the sake of the show because I don't think that's fair. But like if you have access to that, you can bet that. Yeah, it's hard to see Ottawa scoring much in this matchup, especially with those injuries up front. Like this has to be basically a defense first approach where they just try and muddy it up in this one. They don't have the same horses as Winnipeg has up front, so you're not going to try and trade chances back and forth, especially not with Hellebuck in the other net. So this is basically like Travis Green and them. They're going to have to just muddy this game up as much as they can, play as low event hockey as they can, and I think the Jets are comfortable playing that way too. So this shouts under to me. I hate the fact that we let Rangers Talk Radio derail us from getting this locked in. Just looking at that.
No, stop. This was gone before.
No, it was gone before. Yeah, it was gone just before. It was gone before. Fair enough.
It was like 10:28 that it was bet, something like that.
Yeah. All right. So nothing for us there, unfortunately. If this does come back a little bit and you can get like -110 or better on this under 5.5, I think we both would be good with that. And there is a -105 right now at a widely available book that I will not name either, that you can still get. So if you have access to that, great. But we won't track anything for this game. Let's move on to the next game here. We have the Devils in Colorado to take on the Avs. Devils +112, Avs -134. Total of 5.5, -122 to the over, +100 to the under. Do you have anything for us in this one?
So I have a strong lean to the over. I was hoping maybe to get a little bit better. The other thing that's keeping me off it is definitely how Jake Allen's played as of late. I mean, he's been fantastic, but I kind of look at that in the lens of like, I do expect a little bit of a higher pace here between these two. I mean, we know the Devils love to push the pace, and it's like, I think any team that the Avs really like, for the most part, the Avs are cool kind of playing that up tempo style. And when you get a team like the Devils, who we know wants to push it, like I can see this definitely being a higher kind of pace game here. I may end up doing it, honestly. I think you can get a little better than that -122 currently. Like I think there's some -120s, -118s.
There's -120s widely available. There's -118 as well.
Yeah. So at those numbers, I honestly kind of like it. Yeah, I mean, the real worry here is just like Allen has been really good. Is he able to keep that up? But again, kind of if you're getting held off it based on kind of needing a goalie to play outstanding, it's probably not a bad idea to look that way. Let's go ahead and lock it in. Let's just do it. I'm going to end up being mad if I don't. So we can go ahead and lock it over here.
I agree with you. That's my lean at least. I didn't bet it, but like the under has taken some money throughout the morning, and where we're at now, this 5.5 -120. Like I agree with you over. I think the way the Devils kind of give up chances, the way Colorado's generated, the way Colorado can give up chances too. Just both these teams, I don't think necessarily are warrant this number right now. I'm going to tread a little bit lighter with totals though. Still, this week, maybe just pick my spots. Did not pick the best spot, I guess, last night. Joey Daccord though, that was not what we've seen from Joey Daccord lately. But I do lean that way for sure. I do have a bet on this game though, and I'm going to bet the Devils. Now we're getting +120 or better. There's definitely some +120 widely available. This was not available this morning. The Avs were more in that -120 range. Yeah, I think the Devils really needed this break. We talked about like teams that are maybe struggling coming out of the Four Nations a little bit. I think the Avs are obviously one of those teams. You look at the minutes, the McKinnon, McCarr, Taves, those guys, like they were relied upon heavily for Canada in this tournament. And I think it's kind of showed itself a little bit in these first couple of games back. They were not very good against Nashville and St. Louis, pretty ugly games. Couldn't get much going. Defensively, McCarr and Taves struggled as well. I don't think it's going to turn around just like that. It's going to take a little bit of time for them to get going again. They have a little bit of breathing room, so I don't think there's any like urgency or concern here. Whereas the Devils, this is a team that really needed that break. They come out of that break, obviously not maybe the best result against Dallas, but like fine game. And then they could bounce back the next night and lay a beating on the Preds. Getting Hischier back is huge for them. I do think they're going to play some much better hockey down the stretch here under Keefe. Regular season hockey, that's the Devils' forte. Like this is going to be a lot more like the Devils team we saw, December, January, as opposed to the team we saw kind of living into the break. So getting Hischier back here at this price, it looks like Colorado's still taking a little bit of money, so you might even be able to wait a little bit. But like, yeah, +120 or better on the Devils. I'm good with that. So we got Devils and over there. Do you have any thoughts on side or nothing?
Slightly into the Devils, but nothing I'm dying to get in front of. Yeah, nothing I'm really dying to play.
Okay. Too bad we don't have so money here for this one because we do have a Canucks game tonight. Canucks plus 146 heading into LA to take on the Kings, minus 176, total of 5.5, minus 140 to the under, plus 114 to the over. Anything for you in this specific showdown?
Talk about another under that got hit this morning, right as we kind of got on the show here.
Yeah.
That would have been the only way I would have looked. Frankly, I thought it was already a little too far towards the under. Let alone now, you're getting minus 140. Like I think it was minus 125s earlier, which I had no desire to play. 140, I have even less of a desire to play. I think the number is too far gone. I don't really want to step in front of the Canucks. I'm not really trying to lay a big number with the Kings. This just screams no play for me here.
Okay, I'm going to go just a half unit on the Canucks. Just a half unit because it is just strictly a numbers play, and I still really like this Kings team. Quinn Hughes is back tonight, and that is like I don't think that you could possibly overstate the importance of having Quinn Hughes back here. Like they just missed him in a huge way this weekend. I think you can just throw those games out the window basically without him playing. Like I don't even care what happened with the Canucks games over the weekend. They did not look great. Lost both those games, obviously. I don't even care. They're just a completely different team with Quinn back there. Obviously, I really like this Kings team, but like it's crazy. The market cannot make up their minds on them. Kind of bouncing all over the place for like their home dogs to, kind of a banged up Vegas team one night. And now they're laying this massive number against a Canucks team that's getting healthy and like is still pretty good. The next, it just doesn't quite make sense to me how all over the place they are with them. I think this number is just a bit too high. That's basically what it comes down to. I still really like the Kings. I do think they probably still maybe win tonight, but like not at the percentage that this number is kind of giving them credit for here. So give me the Canucks. Plus 155. Really anything like plus 150 or better, pretty widely available here for half a unit. I like that. Yeah, I don't know. I just like what Quinn Hughes does for this team is just you can't even really put it into context. They're just a completely different team with him, without him. I would love to see like the splits without him and with him, but maybe one of the most important players to their team in this league, I would say. I don't know if you have any agreement or disagreement there.
It's Canucks or nothing. I'm not as high on them as you are. I know. I think I don't want to say there's some quit in this team, but I do think there's a degree of they kind of want the season to be over. I think they're kind of similar to the Rangers in that aspect of they know that nothing's really going to happen this year. Just kind of get through it. I don't know. It's just not a team I'm dying to bet on. So I pass on that one.
Yeah. Okay. We do have a couple things in the chat to get to, which we will do quickly. We'll get to some things in the chat. We will recap the best bets and we'll throw together a very quick anytime goal scorer parlay for tonight before we get out of here. First from Charles, question about the Hart. Kings only a few points back of the Oil, and it's possible they finish third in the division. Would that hurt Draisaitl? If the Oilers finish third in the division, I'm assuming he's asking here, would that hurt his chances at the Hart Trophy? Yes, I think definitely it would, but I also don't think they finish third in the division. I still think they ultimately probably win this division. I don't think Vegas necessarily has like the same emphasis on the regular season right now. Like again, this is always a team that looks towards the playoffs. They're not gonna, same thing we talked about with Dallas yesterday. They're not going to leave it all out there over the last couple months of the year. They want to save as much as they have in the tank for April, May. So I still think the Oilers will ultimately figure this out and be just fine, probably win the division. But like if they finish all the way down to third, I do think that hurts Draisaitl's candidacy for sure. And that's where we talked about last week with Kucherov. The Lightning are extremely live to win that division, especially now when you look at Tanev's injury and the way the Lightning are playing right now. And
the Panthers,
they win the division and Kucherov helps. Yeah, Panthers without Tkachuk, like everything's kind of falling into place right now for the Lightning to sort of win that Atlantic division. He would get a ton of looks if McKinnon ends up finishing as the Avs finish as like a wild card team. Honestly, this could be Hellebuyck the year Hellebuyck does his price and wins the Hart and Vezina though too. It's hard to look past Hellebuyck too. I will say it's hard to look past Hellebuyck, but I still think there's a lot of value in Kucherov And long way to answer this, but yeah, I think Draisaitl does get docked if they finish third in the division. What do you think here?
I think he gets docked, but I don't think it's necessarily like, oh, if they finish third, he's probably not going to win. Like if you knew right now that let's say they finish second in the division, is he still the favorite? I think so.
Yeah,
I think he's still favorite. Okay, Jets win the President's Trophy, and the Oilers finish second in the division. I still think it's probably Draisaitl.
Depends how it depends how they play down the stretch. Like my thoughts here, if they finish third, it's because they sputter a little bit down the stretch, right? It's because they don't play very good hockey for the next month and a half, 2 months, and that's gonna drastically impact the odds.
Yeah, I just think that the way for him not to win it is either Hellebuck somehow needs to be better, or Draisaitl really needs to hit a cold streak on his own more than necessarily the team, or Kucherov needs to, or somebody needs to just blow by him in points. Like that's, I think, kind of what you need to happen. Like I don't think just, oh, these guys kind of continue doing what they've been doing, but the Oilers tail off a little bit necessarily does it. Like I still think you kind of need somebody else to jump up there and take it from him rather than just necessarily he falls off a little bit. So
points, they're all right there right now. I mean, if Hellebuck takes them to Hellebuck takes them to win the President's Trophy, Kucherov finishes second in the Art Ross by like a point or two, that's where he's at now. I think he's like 2 points off the lead. Kucherov wins or finishes second in the Art Ross, but the Lightning win the Atlantic. Hellebuck wins the Jets the President's Trophy, and then Draisaitl wins the Art Ross, but they finish second in the division by like 4 points. Who gets it? And that's all I need. That's all you need to say.
I think
is the pause.
Yeah,
is enough
I think it's
the
tough.
pause is enough to show
probably,
that there's value down the board in this market.
Yeah, no,
right
I agree with that. I probably still would make Draisaitl the favorite. Wouldn't be a big favorite, but like I think I'd still probably have him favored out of those three in that scenario. I for Kucherov, like I think your only chance with Kucherov is division and Art Ross. So I do
very,
think
very much possibility right now, right?
Oh, it absolutely is, and that's why I liked it kind of we were talking last week. So it's like I do think it's very possible. I just think in order for Draisaitl not to win it, I think you need more than they all stay at the pace they are and the Oilers fall back a spot. Like I don't think that's enough to take it away from him, but I do think there is value on that board.
Yeah. Okay. A couple other comments here I wanted to just quickly touch on. Cole Hudson's goal last night against UConn. Did you see that?
That was pretty good. That was good.
It was unbelievable. Yeah, that was unbelievable. Mike, I did enjoy that. And then Lightning Cup from Equal 17-1 on FanDuel. Love that. Honestly, love that. I've talked enough about the Lightning here. I don't need to keep like banging the same drum, but I love this Lightning team. I like that number. I think the path right now in the East is very, 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 I wouldn't say easy, but like very open for them.
Open.
Yeah. I definitely really like that look. No question. No questions asked.
It was funny. I didn't even realize, I didn't think I had like any Lightning futures. And then I realized I had one that you talked me into in like July of last year.
Yeah.
So I do have a Lightning Cup bet from all the way back in last July. So
yeah.
Guess I have something to root for.
It's a beautiful thing. You're welcome. Okay, let's recap tonight's bets quickly, and then we'll get into a goal scorer parlay. We have the Devils plus 125, the over 5.5 minus 120 in the Devils Avs game, and then half a unit on the Canucks plus 155. 3 bets for tonight. We unfortunately missed out on that Sens Jets under. If you do have access to that at a better number, or if it comes back at one point, we were looking for minus 110 or better on that 5.5 under. So something to keep an eye out for, but nothing tracked there. Okay, do you have any goal scorers you want? Everyone else, put your goal scorers in the chat if there's anyone you guys want here. I would like to get a Jets player, maybe a Jets player, a Devils player, and 1-0 in that late game tonight. It's kind of hard to find a goal scorer there.
We like
Jack
Jesper
Hughes.
Bratt, 40.
Let's see here. Yeah, sure. Bratt 240. I'm looking for a Jets player. Man, 3 low totals tonight. Dude, this is honestly such a bad night to do a.
It is.
Should we just build a no instead?
Could do both. We could do a no too. What about Niederreiter 4-1?
Okay, Nino 4-1. We'll do that. And then let's look at this last game here. Canucks Kings. I
mean, these are some big prices on some Canucks guys. Like Garland,
right now. Oh, I thought for sure you were going to say Hedel.
Garland 340.
Sad.
We could do Hedel. Let's see what Sam thinks. We need a Sam player.
I honestly hate this one.
Yeah, but we hate all of them. Let's be real.
It's true. Byfield.
The Avs also just got hit.
Yeah.
I will probably join you on the Devils here. I'm seeing like plus 140 now.
It's crazy. This market's wild.
That's always the best. That's always the best on the show. We're coming on. We're getting ready to give an under, and the under gets blasted at 10:28, and we give out a side, and the other side gets blasted on the show. It's just wonderful.
Yeah. Like you can't. Like the Avs cannot be laying minus 160 to the Devils. They just can't.
No, I agree.
They just can't.
I like the Devils at this point. Yes.
This market is crazy this year. The market is literally insane. Okay, sure. Let's do a Quinn Hughes. Let's do Quinn Hughes as the third one.
Fuck it. Why not?
Do that. Fuck it. Why not? So Quinn Hughes. Who else do we have? Quinn Hughes, Jesper Bratt, and I'll wait for it to come up on screen in a sec. But Quinn Hughes, Jesper Bratt. Obviously, we're gonna get a better number on Bratt now too because the Avs just got hit. And Nino, 100-1. Nice clean number. I like that. It's not hitting, but I like it. Yeah.
It's not hitting, but yeah.
No goal parlay. You could probably honestly. I'm not going to build one here, but I'll just give out a couple no goal guys that have some value based on. There we go. 103-1. Bratt.
Market's moving against us again.
Yeah. That's
part of the Avs move, I'm sure.
I'll just throw out a couple no's here just so that you guys have some ideas based on this Pro Tool and what maybe could be a low scoring night. Maybe some value on these. Kopitar minus 380. Tim Stützle minus 319. Josh Norris minus 469. Beautiful number there. And Cale Makar minus 400. Giroux minus 469. All some guys to consider based on, and Elias Pettersson minus 450. You can
also that Avalanche move got hit right back.
And I didn't even get to really be fully a part of it because I'm doing this. Oh well, what are you gonna do?
Got hit right back down.
All right. All right, let's wrap this up. I got some spring training to bed as well here. So appreciate everyone for tuning in today. We will be back tomorrow. It will be a 3-man panel. It's 489 is Moretto Steve. That's it. Oh God. All right, let's get out of here. Appreciate everyone. Yeah, it will be So Money, myself, and Albert tomorrow for what is a much bigger card. Yeah, appreciate everyone for tuning in here. If you can like the stream, comment, any of that stuff, it does help us out. Would appreciate that. Yeah, until then, we'll see you guys all tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the games tonight and good luck on your bets.